Overthinking is something that I do constantly. And as an overthinker, I try my best to journal, but not just journal and just write down my thoughts. I specifically write down exactly what's provoking my anxiety. I want to get to the root of it. Why? Because I want to share this with you. As I was journaling this morning and I was doing the whole anxiety journaling and going through the motions of the what if, all the fears, all the stress and things like that. And what I found were a couple things that I want to share. And I'm going to be looking down because I wrote everything down on my journal and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So one, I wrote down something that it was just something that was clear to me, and I feel like I need to share it because I didn't realize the magnitude until I wrote it down and had to reread it. And it says, "The fear we harbor only grows bigger. That which remains in darkness, it's only going to continue to fester and grow like mold." That is how I can describe my process of overthinking. It's like this toxic mold, and it's just festering and it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger until it's something that's completely overpowering my ability to make decisions and not succumb to all the doubts, like all the self-doubts. Something that blew my mind as I was going through the process of writing is the following. When I'm overthinking, I'm constantly thinking about all the possible scenarios that can happen in the future, right? So in a way, I felt in that moment that I was writing this morning, I felt like, why am I trying to be a fortune teller? Why am I trying to predict what's going to happen in the future? And it got me thinking, and I wrote a question. And this is a question that I asked myself, I have asked myself in the past, but I feel that you should ask it too. Let me read it. How do you know you're overthinking? How do you know when you're overthinking? Can you pinpoint it? And in my mind, that is exactly why I like to journal when I'm anxious, because now I can pinpoint certain patterns. I know exactly like the moment where I start overthinking before it even happens. I know it's coming. And it's every time I have an idea and I don't know whether or not I should execute that idea. And something that I wrote down is the following. It's an attack against your peace and sanity. That's exactly how I see it. It's constantly overthinking. It's like an attack, and I'm just like in defense mode. So if I'm in defense mode, trying to dodge all these like negative thoughts and all of this that is like bombarding me, I'm constantly going to be stressed. I'm constantly going to be in a state of like, I'm alert and I freeze and I'm paralyzed. I don't make decisions. I don't take action. I realize that when I am in a state of constantly overthinking, I become dormant. I become idle, and it seizes all productivity. Like I'm no longer productive. It's like it shuts me down. And while I was journaling through my whole, trying to process the whole anxiety that I was feeling over something that I'm trying to work on, I wrote the following. When you learn to view overthinking, an overthinking pattern, as an intruder in your mind, it changes everything. Why? I guarantee you that if you are home and an intruder comes to your house, you're going to be ready and you're going to fight whoever you have to fight to get this intruder out of your house to protect you and your family from that intruder. Now I view overthinking as an intruder that wants to come and disrupt my world. And because it's an intruder, I know that I have to do whatever possible to know what it is, know when it's coming so that I'm ready. And then I wrote in my journal, and I wanted to share this, and it's the last thing that I wrote when I was finishing up my journal entry. And it's this: you cannot fight an enemy you cannot see. Since I am an anxious person, I tend to I'm in my mind all day. When you keep an anxiety journal and you write down exactly all the thought patterns that you're having while you're overthinking, and your anxiety is up the roof and you're stressed, over time, when you go back and read those journal entries, you will be able to pinpoint exactly when you begin that process of overthinking things. And when you can pinpoint that moment, that trigger, you can start attacking it. You can start developing a plan. How do you develop a plan? Know how you're going to respond. Practice. For me, sometimes I just have to close my eyes and breathe. Like, you have to have your plan of attack. What are you going to do? Are you going to go run? Are you sometimes, all I do is I exercise. I open up my exercise app and I just exercise. I'll do some weights. I breathe. I come to my bed. I just lay down and listen to some music. I watch comedy. I watch something that's enjoyable. I read to my kids. I play a game. Anything, a cold shower. I know exactly how I'm going to respond to that moment before I start overthinking. And one of the best things that you can do to stop overthinking is taking action. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're overthinking, I don't know, producing a specific book. And you start going through this, like, you did the research. You know exactly what you want to design for your book cover. And then you're like, you know what? I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if it's going to be profitable. I don't know. And then, but what if it is profitable? What if? Before that even kicks off, do it. Do it anyways. Crush all that sensation of fear, all that stress, all that overthinking with just action. Execute it. Regardless whether you're going to be successful, whether you're not going to be successful, because you know what? As soon as you execute and it's done, it's out there, you're free. That overthinking pattern that you were going to go down is gone. Move on to the next thing and move on to the next thing and execute. Or you have to make concrete decisions. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I really don't want to do that. I don't have the time or energy to invest in this, but guess what? I want to invest in that. We all have options. Choose one thing and stick with it and go. I don't want to overthink. I don't want to allow this intruder into my mind. I don't want to open the door to this intruder to come and paralyze me and seize all productivity in my life. I hope this video was helpful. Go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.